Danny Adam back here, of course, with Demario Davis. I was going to say of the Saints. Can I say of the Saints?
You can say however you want to call it, man. However you want to call
tell
it.
me. Let's start there. How are you, man? Welcome back to Radio Row, Media Row.
I'm blessed to be here. Thanks for having me on. Really excited about this.
Of course. I mean, you're captain of the Saints last year. Been there a few years, obviously, and a lot of people now are wondering what's the future, what's next for you. I mean, how much are you thinking about it right now?
Man, I'm not thinking about it as much as because it just comes out of who I am.
Sure.
Things that I consider very highly is how I show up. Number one, I'm trying to be an elite linebacker and play the game at the highest level. I'm trying to elevate defenses. I'm trying to mentor guys. I'm trying to have an impact off the field, in the community. And I'm very important to me is helping advance the game forward. As this game moves internationally, really being locked into how I show up and help that cause. And that's something that I'm going to do no matter where I'm at or what I'm doing. That's just part of who I am. So whether I continue to do that where I'm at in New Orleans, whether I'm doing that somewhere else or long after I'm retired from the game, who I am and how I show up is going to be the same.
Yeah, and obviously at your time in New Orleans, you had a transition with the head coach going from Dennis Allen to Kellen Moore, defensive-minded to offensive-minded. You being a defensive guy, what kind of impact, if any at all, does that have on your day-to-day routine or just kind of the schematics going into a, practice or overall outlook of the season? Do you notice a difference or is it still kind of seamless for what your plan is on that?
Yeah, you got to have your own individual plan, but the coaches and the culture is set by the coaches and then kind of given to the players. They kind of set the standard and the players have to kind of amplify it or multiply it. And, man, I could rave about our staff all day long, man. They were home run hits. The three guys that I talk about the most are Kellen Moore, of course, is the head coach. Brandon Staley, one of the best defensive coordinators I've ever had in 15 years. And then Ted Rapp, the strength and conditioning coach. I mean, I think those guys, they just elevate the program to a different level. Three things that Kellen Moore talked about was being tough together and having joy. And those three things, kind of reverberated through our locker room all year. Brandon Staley is a phenomenal defensive mind. He's so far ahead of the game in a game that really has these advanced offenses that are really simple but complex to defend. You have to have a defensive mind that really understands what they're trying to do, that can decode the matrix and set his defense up to be able to stop it. And that's how with a new unit with a lot of young guys playing, we're still a top 10 defense, because of how he coaches. And then Ted Rapp just having that consistent, motivated culture to bring the best out of guys. Man, it was just a lot of fun. And then I was blessed to have a position coach in Peter Sermon who played the game at linebacker. And so not only is he a phenomenal coach, because not all players can be good coaches. He's a phenomenal coach, but because he played the game, he understands what it means to be a veteran linebacker in the league. And so we had a lot of common ground that we could work with. And it was just a blessing, man. So I think that's what allowed me to have, one of, if not my best season in the NFL at 37 years old.
Well, I want to go there. Being 37, I mean, so few guys, you talk about being blessed, so few guys get to play a few years out from 40, obviously. You've had a long, very successful career, a handful of all-pro selections. Do you think, and I'm not trying to push you away from the Saints, don't worry, but do you think about like what's the storybook ending, right? Is there that one team you always wanted to play for, or is it, ring chasing at the end of the career, get that one more opportunity or whatever it is, the hometown team, you name it. Do you ever think about these things?
Man, it's so much bigger than football for me. Like, I would be limiting myself if I would think about it in regards of what would a season mean to me just in terms of, playing football. If I was thinking just in terms of winning a ring or playing for, a team that I dreamed of growing up, like all those things are good. But for me, how do I become the best version of myself? How do I play at the highest level? That's why as I continue to go late in my career, I'm trying to get better every year.
Yeah.
Like I just came off productively, stats-wise, my best season because that was a goal for me. And how do I elevate a defense? So it's like, man, we had a young defense, but we finished in the top 10. And it didn't look that way in week 9. But, me and Brandon Staley kind of had some conversations of how do we get there?
Yep.
And as we had, I was like, Coach, we're going to get there. I promise you. And it was just about elevating the guys around me. And then mentoring guys, man, some of my proudest moments is seeing Alontae Taylor take that next step. He's going to free agency as one of the hottest cornerbacks in the market. Chase Young taking that next step, 10-sack season, first 10-sack season. Everybody know he had the potential, and now he's dominating. Having a rookie, Jonas Saneker, take that next step. Kool-Aid McKinstry proving that he's a lockdown #1 corner in the league. Chris Olave going to getting a 1,000-yard season and getting an All-Pro. Like seeing those young guys take those next steps and knowing that you played a part in that process, man, that means the world to me. And then the impact that we had in the city, like we've always showed up in New Orleans, but I think this year was just probably one of our most impactful years off the field and in the community, and playing a part in the New Orleans Saints going to Paris. Like, man, these things are mega things.
Yeah.
And so I would shrink myself to only be concerned about what was happening on the field, like not taking away from it. But it's so much more that's going on. And those are the things that concern me, is like, and I think that's what allows me to continue to play the game late, is because I get so much joy from what I do. And it's not the weight of just being a football player.
You started your career with the Jets, a couple stints with the Jets. As you sit here on Media Row getting ready for Seahawks Patriots, I mean, is there any part of you that's like, man, Patriots are here again? Like I thought they were dead and buried after Bill and Tom. Now Vrabel and Mayer here. Like, how do we kill these guys?
No, man, that's a respect to a great franchise. That's what it's supposed to look like. And you kind of go through weary seasons, and a good franchise, man, they go through those drought seasons, but they find a way back, man. And that's what you want to do. And that's what the Saints are too. The Saints are in that same situation, being one of the winningest franchise, over a stretch in regular season, had the most wins over 5 years, and then kind of the post-Breeze era having like a little dip off. And now you can kind of see that runway being laid to get back. And that's what, good franchises do, is they have that stability that allows them to sustain, those seasons of adversity and with just resilience.
See the way he talked around that? None of that old
Yeah,
Jets Patriots hatred's going to come
Right.
out.
We are pro right here. Demario,
You guys are funny, man.
being a veteran in the league and seeing all these new quarterbacks come up. I'm based in the Chicagoland area, so I got my finger on the pulse around Caleb. Obviously, a guy you played against this year among many other younger quarterbacks. How has that been, trying to defend those type of young guys, especially with how more mobile it seems these quarterbacks are nowadays? How's that been for
That's
you?
part of the game. I feel like if you want to be successful, you have to have a quarterback that can get to the second play. Today, the defenses are too complex to read. You have so many different ways of running cover 4, so many different ways of running cover 3, that they don't all look the same. It's all these different patterns of man-to-man. So for a quarterback, that's very tough to read, and that's why they moved to a progression system. Or a read progression system. But even a quarterback that can go through the reads, those reads might be taken away. Yeah. So now the quarterback has to be able to get mobile and get to the second play and extend the play. That's why you see guys like Baker Mayfield be able to play so well and have so much impact. You see Drake May, he can get to the second play. Brock Purdy getting to that second play. You got all these quarterbacks who can get to that second play. Yeah. Tyler Shuck had a good season because he could get to that second play. What do you do when a play breaks down? You get outside the pocket, and if it's open, you got to run it. But even in being able to find the receivers late in the down, that's what you have to be able to do. So that's the way the game is going. And as a defense, you have to be able to defend the second play. So it's like, don't just think because you beat your man at the line of scrimmage, if you're a pass rush, you're going to get to the quarterback. You got to be able to win twice. Sure. So he might, escape the pocket. You got to be able to win and get to him and contain on the outside. As a defender, you got to be able to defend the route concept, but then be able to plaster to the receivers. And so that's just part of the game. And that's why as linebackers in today's game, you see so many who transfer from being a defensive back, because, the old school linebacker just wouldn't survive in today's game, especially when the pass concepts come alive. They'd be very good against the run, but when the pass concepts came and it was one-on-one, they would struggle.
Yeah. A couple more for you before we let you go. How about a Super Bowl prediction?
Man, I got to be careful how I say this. So I got a lot more of my old teammates are on the Seahawks.
Okay.
So Big Cat is an old teammate. Rashid Shaheed, Bayless Jones is over there. Kubiak, who I was with.
Sure.
And sounds like he might get a head coaching job next year.
Oh yeah, he's locked in.
Man, listen, more than deserving. So I got a lot of respect for those guys, and I'm not taking nothing away.
But
if I gotta put my bid in, man, I'm going with the Patriots. Close game, Patriots gonna pull it out.
I like that.
Okay.
Now I know you're not just here, obviously, to talk Super Bowl and to your free agent future and all of that. Let's talk about the Devoted Dreamers Foundation.
Yeah.
What do the people need to know?
Oh man, you know what? What's so cool is being on Radio Row, and everybody that talks to me is talking about the work I do in the community. That's very rewarding to me because I I believe with this platform, to whom much is given, much is required. And it's all about how you show up.
Mm-hmm.
Devoted Dreamers, we started in 2013, and that's allowed us to have a lot of success locally in Mississippi and New Orleans. And it really was just about raising up the next generation through mentorship and education solutions. How do you individualize education and help them in this one-size-fit-all model that just isn't working? How do you reach each kid where their strengths and limitations are? And, man, this week being able to highlight our partnership with Stand Together. Man, Stand Together is a philanthropic organization that really just comes in to help elevate change makers who are doing the real work on the ground, and they help us help them, attack the country's biggest problems. And we've identified solutions in education. They've helped us scale our work, national with network and resources. Now we have work that's happening nationally around the country. There's real solutions for education, and when parents trying to figure it out, what they're going to do with their kids' education, we got ways to point them in the right direction. And that's very rewarding to us, but also it's encouraging to others to be able to say, man, you can make an impact just as big as this.
Easy to tell why this one is, this man right here perennially in the Walter Payton Man of the Year conversation. Demario, thank you so much.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all for the time.
Appreciate your time.
All right, blessings.